some conversations I've had recently have been around the idea of, do I have enough to retire? Well, we often talk about people that have $1 million or $2 million that are retiring. But, the statistics show a lot of people do not have enough to retire. So let's take a look at this and actually break it down. So this is all from investmentnews.com. It says that 51% of those aged 61 to 65 have less than 100,000 saved. 25% have between 100,000 and 500,000. 13% have 500,000 to 1 million. Only 11% have over 1 million saved between the ages of 61 and 65 for those out there. So that's something that if you're looking at that and you're maybe in this situation, maybe you're saying, hey, you know what? I'm either between the 100 and 500 or even less than that. What can we do about that? Well, just to kind of give you an idea too, because that's not the only one talking about this. This seems to be a pretty hot topic right now. There are a lot of people going to retire saying, man, I just don't have enough money. So another one that did come out was Kiplinger.com says that no retirement savings was reported for 1 in 5 of those surveyed ages 50 plus. Then you have 61% say they don't think that they're going to have enough to retire. So asking this and watching this video, maybe you're in a position where you say, hey, I know what I'm doing. I'm good to go. Or maybe you're saying, hey, I got to figure this out myself. I'm really curious. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking here. Are you good? Or are you like, hey, I thank you for this video because I'm trying to figure it out myself. 40% of men who regularly are saving for retirement feel they have enough. And then 30% of those surveyed over 50 who are women feel that they were regularly saving will have enough to retire. So there's some numbers there too, just looking at the genders to try to break that down. So what exactly are we going to do in this situation? Because if we don't have enough to retire, you always got people to say, well, you got to work. But what else can you do? What are some ways that you can talk through this? One that I didn't even list that I'm just going to throw you as a little bonus, and that's inheritance. Possibly there's something coming that you're not counting on. Maybe it's the plan is don't count on it, but hope that you get something. Maybe there's the conversations to be had there with some older family members. Maybe you're helping take care of them and just asking, what does this look like? Because that could change things quite a bit if you do get a windfall from that. If you're not in a fortunate situation where that's coming in, let's talk about some things to help get you set up. One thing is just getting rid of high interest debts. Right now with inflation, where inflation is, we're talking to people who have credit card debt that is upwards of 24% and even higher. That's a significant amount. So if you're saving for retirement right this second and you're saying, hey, I've got 24% in credit card debt, but I'm trying to get a 6 or 7% return in the market. Well, that doesn't really offset, does it? Instead, you're actually spending more money trying to save for retirement. So instead, focus on getting rid of that high interest debt, get that taken care of. Then let's consider going ahead and continuing to save for retirement. And then you've got to create a necessity budget and a dream budget. When it comes to the retirement years, you've got the people who are really thinking about, I want to, live lavishly. I want to travel here. I want to go to Europe. I want to see all these things. That's the dream budget. But what about your necessity budget? If you really don't want to work any longer, or maybe it's at a point where financially, or not financially, but from a health perspective, you can't work any longer, then you say, all right, let's go to the necessity budget. Let's figure this out. We always talk about it here with Jazz, with our clients. We say, know your expenses. You've got to know your expenses. Know what it is going to cost you to live comfortably in retirement years. Now, breaking that down, we've made a lot of videos talking about that, but just giving you an idea, if it's, rent that you're having to factor in and all of these basics such as, transportation, food, the cell phone bill, but then look at the things that you could cut, maybe that are in the dream budget. Maybe it's the travel, the lavish lifestyle. We've talked to a lot of people who've been able to live on a lot less than they thought they could just because they said, you know what, we're retired. We just kind of want to enjoy life. They live in a community where they can do that. And you could look at that too, like a relocation into a community where maybe they're offering a lot of things, but it's not as much of an expense as a lot of other places. Then another thing that you really want to think through is consider delaying Social Security. If at full retirement age you delay Social Security from then until age 70, the Social Security office is actually going to give you 8% increase each year. They're going to give you a raise of 8% every year that you delay Social Security up until age 70. And so delaying the Social Security is kind of a hedge against things because also Social Security is nice because it does also increase with inflation. So if we have runaway inflation, you're going to get a big boost there. But even if you just have, let's say, a 2 or 3% inflation, well, so Social Security is going to go up and be helpful with that to make sure that you're also keeping up with your income going up as expenses go up in the retirement years. And then we've got some other things that we want to talk through, and that's downsizing a home. Not everybody wants to do this, but it really makes sense, especially if you're cutting things tight when it comes to the retirement expenses. If you have a home, maybe you look to downsize that. We've got, again, a lot of the clients are looking at relocating to maybe a retirement community that's just a little bit cheaper. A lot of times they have a homeowners association fee that's helping, but it's going to cover all of your lawn, so you don't have to worry about that. It's covering the cable bills, the internet, different things that are all included in that. And then you could consider working longer, working part-time, or a side hustle. I talked about this one a minute ago, but I'm going to share a client story because we've got someone, that maybe they don't want to work forever. They don't want to have to work all the time. We have a client that actually went into a retirement community and realized, hey, you know what? I still could use some extra spending money to be able to do the things I want to do. They're retired. They have the money to get by, but they just wanted a little slush fund money to be able to do other things. So they started talking in the community about actually cleaning houses for other people. And with that, they've built it up now where they're saying, hey, you know what? I'm at a point where I'm actually turning away business and they're not wanting to take on more business. So you have to find what's going to work for you in these years. If you haven't saved a lot for retirement, you're going to have to make some sacrifices, working longer, cutting expenses, figuring out what is going to work best. But just think through that. And while you're watching this, you probably have thought of some other things that maybe I missed in this that could help people who maybe are saying, hey, I don't quite have enough. What else could they possibly do? Let me know in the comments. I'm sure that it will help them as well.